The summer air of June 1912 settled quietly over the small town of Villisca, Iowa. It was the kind of town where neighbors left their doors unlocked, children played until sunset, and church gatherings brought nearly everyone together. On the evening of June 9th, the Moore family attended a children's church program. Josiah Moore smiled proudly as his 4 children laughed with friends. Sarah Moore chatted with neighbors while the youngest children chased one another across the churchyard. 2 sisters, Ina and Lena Stillinger, accepted an invitation to spend the night with the Moore family after the event. Nothing about the evening suggested that history was about to remember it as one of America's darkest unsolved crimes. After returning home, the family prepared for bed. Lamps were extinguished one by one until the modest White House became completely dark. Outside, only the sounds of crickets disturbed the silence. The children drifted to sleep upstairs while the adults retired to their bedroom downstairs. The Stillinger sisters settled into the guest room. The entire house became still. Sometime after midnight, according to investigators' later theories, an unknown intruder entered the home carrying an axe. No one knows exactly when or how the person entered. There were no security cameras, no alarms, and little forensic science available at the time. What happened inside those walls has been reconstructed only from the evidence investigators later found. Room by room, the attacker moved through the house. The victims never had the opportunity to escape. By dawn, 8 innocent people had lost their lives. The violence shocked even experienced investigators of the era. Morning arrived, but something seemed wrong. The Moore family never emerged from their home. Curtains remained closed. The animals outside waited to be fed. Concerned neighbors began knocking on the front door. There was no answer. One neighbor eventually entered the house. Within moments, cries for help echoed through the quiet street. The town rushed toward the home, but what awaited inside was beyond imagination. Every member of the Moore family and both visiting sisters had been killed. The house, which only hours earlier had been filled with laughter, had become a crime scene unlike anything Villisca had ever experienced. Investigators noticed strange details. Mirrors had been covered with cloth. Curtains had been pulled shut. Food remained untouched in the kitchen. The murder weapon, an axe believed to belong to the Moore family, was left inside the home. Detectives searched desperately for fingerprints, footprints, or anything that could identify the killer, but early 20th century investigative methods were limited. As news spread across America, newspapers printed sensational headlines. Hundreds of people visited Villisca hoping to glimpse the infamous house. Rumors spread almost as quickly as facts. Every stranger became a suspect. Every unusual traveler passing through town attracted suspicion. Several people were investigated over the years. Some confessed before withdrawing their statements. Others were accused by rumor alone. Trials were held, evidence was debated, and theories multiplied. Yet none produced a conviction. Officially, the murders remain unsolved to this day. Years passed. Families who later occupied the house reported unsettling experiences. Some described hearing footsteps during the night. Others believed they heard whispers or children's voices when no one else was present. Visitors claimed doors opened unexpectedly or that unexplained noises echoed through empty rooms. These reports became part of the house's local legend. None of these experiences has been scientifically confirmed, but they helped shape the house's reputation as one of America's most famous allegedly haunted locations. As interest in paranormal investigations grew during the 20th century, ghost hunters began visiting the home with cameras, audio recorders, and other equipment. Some believed they captured mysterious sounds or unexplained images. Skeptics argued that old houses naturally creak, settle, and produce unusual noises, especially at night. The debate continues, with believers and skeptics reaching different conclusions. Today, visitors who walk through the restored house often describe an overwhelming feeling of sadness rather than fear. The bedrooms remain arranged much as they might have appeared in 1912. The narrow staircase creaks beneath careful footsteps. Sunlight filters through old windows onto worn wooden floors. Silence fills the rooms where laughter once echoed. Whether one believes the haunting stories or not, the true horror lies in the history itself. 8 innocent people lost their lives in a brutal crime that has never been solved. More than a century later, investigators, historians, authors, and visitors continue asking the same question. Who entered that peaceful home on that summer night, and why? No definitive answer has ever been found. Perhaps that uncertainty is what keeps the Villisca story alive. Ghost stories may fade, legends may change, and rumors may grow with every generation, but the real tragedy remains unchanged. A family vanished in a single night, a community was forever transformed, and one of America's greatest unsolved murder mysteries continues to haunt history, not because of proven supernatural events, but because justice was never fully achieved. And as evening falls over the old White House in Villisca, many visitors find themselves standing quietly on the porch, looking at the dark windows, wondering whether the greatest mystery inside those walls was ever a ghost at all, or simply the identity of the person who walked away into the darkness and was never caught.